Welcome to King Says So, a channel that advocates for one Africa, one land, one Africa, one language, one Africa, one currency, one Africa, one army. I wish to witness Africans all around the world united as one in our lifetime. Enjoy.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Nengi, and we're back at it again. Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my brothers in Africa, all my African brothers in the rest of the globe. Thank you so much for joining in today. We are speaking about the EFF raising an emotion of no confidence, if I can call it that, asking the president of the country to remove the Israel embassy in Pretoria. This is a very important thing that is happening in South Africa right now in showing solidarity, standing with the Palestinians against the genocide on their people in their country. And, you know, Israel just throwing bombs upon bombs. I see even some members of Gift of the Givers have passed away. But what I wanted to talk about, first I want to speak about the speech that Julius Malema, the presentation that he did, one. Number two, I want to speak about Africans when they unite in parliament, the type of power they carry. Number three, I want to also highlight that the IFP has decided not to side with the rest of the African parties that are siding with EFF and ANC, but they are siding with the DA, surprisingly so, the enemy. So I want to cover that and make sure that we break it down perfectly. So Julius Malema is from day one, he has shown the EFF has shown more what's the word I'm looking for? They've shown that they're more seriousness than the ANC when it comes to fighting Israel. You remember they wanted to boycott Woolworths, they wanted to boycott McDonald's. They said we must stop importing goods from Israel and all of that. But in Parliament right now, he said something very differently and brushing away these things of people saying they are trying to gain political points by siding with Palestine. Let's quickly listen to what Mr. Malema said.
Insist on the arms embargo against Israel, and we must also continue with our withdrawal of our embassy staff from Tel Aviv and Israel. We fully agree that indeed parties such as the DA will never understand the suffering of the people of Palestine because they've never been in the conditions those people find themselves in. If anything, they benefited from the suffering and the pain of others, and they will not immediately relate with what is happening in Palestine. We know what is forced removal. We know what is land occupation. We are still coexisting with land occupiers who come here and want to tell us about political point scoring and political opportunism. We cannot be lectured about human rights by beneficiaries of the butchering of our people. People who still wish that the tables can turn and that they can perpetuate what they used to do during apartheid days. So for the fact that they do not have an experience of being a victim of an apartheid, they will never support this. Why should it come as a surprise that the IFP will not support an action to remove an Israeli embassy? They did not support sanctions against apartheid. They did not support the international isolation of the South African apartheid. And they've always been the collaborators. They are direct beneficiaries of some of those who are linked with the apartheid, Zionist apartheid state. So apartheid collaborators and the people who opposed apartheid sanctions and international isolation do not stand any chance of supporting exactly the same call that we're making, because we know the power of international solidarity. So we're calling on all progressive forces to reject the blackmail of the FF Plus when it says that ANC will support EFF, the ANC can't support EFF, the ANC must be bold. That's how those who benefited from the blood of others will behave. The bloodsuckers, the vultures, the people who are still longing for the human flesh of Africans will never see anything wrong with what is happening in Palestine. Stop scaring us about economic opportunities that are going to be denied when we are removing the embassy of Israel. That is Swart Khefar. It is what Afrikaner apartheid apologists survived with. They always created scaremongering and scare tactics for people not to support the genuine struggle. A product, the immediate beneficiary, the grandchild of the inventors of Swart Khefar is coming with Swart Khefar tactics here, that there are certain economic opportunities that if you remove the Israeli embassy, you'll forfeit those opportunities and certain skills. That's what Afrikaner apartheid apologist survives on. And this should never be shocking to some of us. So we agree that indeed the referral to the ICC by the president, it's a clear direction that we cannot say these people are engaged in violation of human rights and still have them in our territory. They need to go. We need to take a bold move and say these people will go. And these people must go with immediate effect.
Yeah, you see, South Africa has got a different stance when it comes to this Palestine issue because of we're comparing it to the apartheid government, the Boer apartheid government that killed and discriminated against Africans in South Africa for many years. So some political parties are comparing it to the apartheid, our apartheid. Some are saying what is happening in Palestine is worse. I believe it's worse. I honestly believe that it's worse, and it comes to this topic that I wanted to cover, to say when political parties, African political parties, stand together, they are able to form what we call a 2/3 majority in parliament, meaning they can change policies, they can change lives. It's funny that for Israel and Palestine, for Palestine, that the EFF and the ANC are willing to work together. But when it comes to things like the land, they've got disagreements. Malema rightfully points out that we are still sitting with our colonizers. They are amongst us. They are in parliament. They are still owning the minerals. They are still owning the economy. But why is it that the political parties cannot sit together in parliament and say, listen, we might be from different political parties, but can we agree that the land must go back to its own people? They can form the 2/3 majority and no one will be able to stop them. Are you guys with me with this one? There's many other things that they can vote on. For example, the forming of a national bank. It's a state bank. It will be easy for them to form a state bank if they can sit together and kick out the embassy of Israel with 2/3 majority. They can do it for us also, South Africans, and vote that there must be a state bank. They can vote together for taking the minerals back. What you call the mines, taking the mines from the private sector, So I don't know, making them public. I don't know what is going on in terms of us Africans when it comes to our own issues. There is no level of seriousness that we see. But amazingly, when we are talking about other countries, we are so focused and so radical. And we show serious actions. These are serious actions that the ANC and the EFF are taking. Africans are afraid to challenge America. Africans are afraid to challenge France, Europe, the EU. We are afraid to challenge. Those people are looting our minerals every day in this country. There is no country that is an exception to the looting or from Europe and America in our country. China and Russia are trying to assist and help us to say, listen, we will loot you, but you will benefit in terms of infrastructure development. It's easy for the political parties to vote to develop South Africa, but and I don't get it. And you might ask him, what do you mean? I mean, I don't see political colors. I see skin color, which is African and non-African. That's what I see in Parliament. So when I see Africans standing together, I'm happy. Which brings me to the issue I wanted to raise about the IFP. The IFP does not agree with the stance of the EFF and the ANC. Let's quickly listen to what they said.
As the IFP, we have stated in this House, and today we reiterate that we do not believe that cutting diplomatic ties with Israel is the best course of action as relates to the current conflict between Israel and Palestine. I therefore wish to reiterate what we said last week in this House, that isolationism in a time of war is not a solution. It is tantamount to running away. Recalling ambassadors or removing ambassadors amounts to regressive diplomacy. It is counterproductive to the clarion call for peace and negotiation. How can South Africa possibly contribute towards the Middle East peace process through mediation efforts if we have expelled one of the parties to the said negotiations from our shores? Diplomacy is not only the profession, activity, or skill of managing international relations, but can also refer to the art of dealing with people in a sensitive and tactful way. Both apply in this situation. The Israeli-Palestine conflict would not be solved by forcefully silencing one of the parties. On the international stage, South Africa has positioned itself to be a country that believes in equality and democracy and negotiations. Therefore, all voices need to be given an equal opportunity to state their case to resolve this conflict. While the IFP is in full support with the EFF on the portion of the resolution which condemns the killing of defenseless children and women in Gaza, no mention is made of the 1,200 Israeli citizens who were killed on October 7 when Hamas attacked Israel. Many of these Israelis were unarmed civilians, including women and children. It is important to note, therefore, that war is never one-sided. As a party that champions nonviolence, the IFP is of the view that brute force and armed aggression and the bloodshed are never the solution to any dispute.
Julius Malema says it's not a surprise that the IFP has decided to stand with the DA. You know, the DA will never understand what Palestinians are going through. It's true. They will never understand. They were never oppressed, you know. I always tell people, white people, that they should be happy that Africans don't want revenge, but they want equality. But there is coming a time and a day where Africans will no longer want equality, where equality will no longer be good enough, and Africans will want revenge, reparations for all the years of slavery that happened to us. It's going to happen, excuse me. It's going to happen. So for the IFP, such a big political party entrenched in the traditions of the Zulu nation, for them to come out and say, no, let's negotiate. And they know very well that action speaks louder than word. Israel will not listen to any country. Will not listen to any country because they've got the backing of the USA. The USA is giving them guns and bombs, machineries to fight and flatten Gaza. And they will, I believe, before the end of the year, if nothing happens to them, children will be killed. Women will be killed. No one will have a safe passage to leave that place. They will die. And Palestinians are like, they are tired of running since 1987. I mean, 1947, saying that they are tired of running. It's fine, you can kill us. Palestinians have reached that level now. So for me, it's a crazy thing, but I just want Africans to unite for Africans issues, you know. And someone said, King, why don't you speak about the Agenda 2063? I'm like, what type of nonsense is Agenda 2063? Huh? These leaders that are speaking about 2063, they won't be alive in 2063. There shouldn't be a political party or the African Union. There shouldn't be goals that are more than 3 years. No. 3 to 5 years is enough. 2063. We are in 2023 now. You're talking about 2063. You're not gonna be here. Hell, some of us would be blessed if we reach 2063. We're setting those goals so far because we don't want to be held accountable for not reaching those goals. You understand what I'm saying? So, for me, Africans need to be serious about African issues. Africans need to unite against African issues. True. And rightfully so, the support that Palestine is getting from all around the world, actually, is not only from Africans, but Africa is, the support that Palestine is getting it's for me, it's overwhelming. It's like, wow, how I wish we can unite again like this for the DRC. How I wish Africans can feel the pain when Boko Haram goes into Nigeria in a school of what you call a girls' school and kidnaps girls. How I wish we can say, no, stop posting, bring back our girls, and go there and take our girls back. How I wish Africans can unite for African purposes. I just so wish, guys. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. The weekend is coming. We have to start doing live streams, guys. We have to start doing live streams and chatting with you guys live, and covering some issues that you would like me to cover that I don't necessarily cover. Some of you are sending me emails, King, speak about this. King, I really appreciate it. I do speak about some videos that you guys yesterday. Actually, Muguni sent me the video of Fusi Tembakwayo. That's why I did it yesterday. So I do listen to some of you who send videos that are aligned with what this channel is all about, which is African unity, and black consciousness, and Pan-Africanism. So if you send me something and it's related to that, I will do that. I will definitely. But if it's not, guys, there are so many other beautiful channels on YouTube that do entertainment and celebrity news, that do gossip and all of that. I myself watch some of those channels. So not on this channel. In this channel, we stay in our lane and we do what affects directly or indirectly the African agenda, and that is awakening our African brothers and sisters, unity, standing with each other, loving each other, getting to know each other, studying each other's languages and cultures and beliefs. That's all. Whatever follows, it's bonus. If I tell you about me that has nothing to do with African panic, look, we stick to what we are doing, guys. Thank you so much. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. And after you pray, stand up and do your best so that God can do the rest. I salute you.